Welcome to Chaos to Clarity, where we discuss healing trauma with godly guidelines. I'm your host, Jean. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about something real, something a lot of people either walk through quietly or feel too ashamed to ever speak on: addiction and relapse. And I want to start by saying this: God is not shocked by your struggle. He's not sitting up there surprised by your bad day, your weak moment, or even your relapse, but He does care deeply about your healing. See, the Bible tells us in John 8:36, who the Son sets free is free indeed. That means freedom is possible, but let's be honest, freedom doesn't always look like a straight line. Sometimes it looks like progress, then a fall, and learning to get back up again and learning to grow. Proverbs says the righteous fall 7 times and rise again. Did you catch that? It didn't say they never fall. It says they get back up. So if you relapsed, if you've had a moment where you went back to something God already brought you out of, it doesn't mean you're disqualified. It means you're still in the process. Now let's talk about addiction for a second. Addiction isn't just about a substance, it can be anything we turn to for comfort, escape, control, or relief instead of God. And the truth is, a lot of addiction is rooted in pain, unhealed wounds, trauma, loneliness, and rejection. Things we never properly dealt with, so we found something to numb it. But God doesn't want to take the addiction away. He wants to heal the why behind it. Because if the root isn't healed, the cycle will keep repeating. A personal experience of mine is, the more you do something to try to feel better or not have to deal with something, whether it's a relationship, an addiction, something like that, shopping to make you feel better, um, it usually only lasts a little while. And you're trying to feel that spot where God should be. And I heard one time that we often repeat the same things or the same cycles until we learn our lesson. And that's something that kind of stuck with me and kind of helps me to make better decisions on a day to day basis. The Bible talks about being transformed by the renewing of our mind in Romans 12:2. That means it's not just a behavior change, it's a heart change. Seems like our hearts have a lot to do with our life, huh? I mean, that's at least how I feel about it. It's about learning new patterns, new habits, and new ways to cope. And yes, it will take time. So, what about relapse? Because that's where a lot of people get stuck. Relapse will try to convince you you've gone too far, you've messed up, you might as well stay here. But that's not God's voice. God says, come back to me, get up again. My grace is still sufficient. But that also doesn't mean that we need to abuse His grace either, because, there's going to come a time where we're going to be held accountable for abusing grace one way or another. Conviction will pull you closer to God, and shame will push you away. And anything pushing you away from God is not from Him. Let me say that again. If what you're feeling is making you hide from God instead of run to Him, that's not His heart for you. Now, listen, accountability matters, community matters, and sometimes counseling and support systems matter too. God can work through people just as much as He works in your quiet time with Him. You don't have to fight this alone. You were never meant to. So, if you're in a season where you're fighting, if you've had a setback, if you're tired of the cycle, don't quit. Your story doesn't end in relapse, it continues in restoration. Because God is not just a God of second chances, He's the God of new beginnings over and over again. You just have to surrender your heart to get to the root of things. All right, friends, I hope this meets you where you are, and I'll catch you next time.